Welcome back to Raggedy Ass Bitch TV, where we talk about the chaos of online behavior. Unfiltered, unpaid, unbought. I'm your host, and today we need to talk about something that happens every single day on every single social media platform, in every demographic, across every age group. Nobody is immune to this. I have seen teenagers do it. I have seen 40-year-olds do it. I have seen people who should absolutely know better do it. I am talking about vague, sad posts. The cryptic, I'm going through something post. The mysterious, some people really show their true colors post. The absolute classic, I just can't anymore post with zero context and 100 worried comments underneath it. We are getting into all of it today. The psychology behind it. The different types. The people who do it chronically versus occasionally. And because I keep it real, the times when it's actually okay and the times when it's just straight up emotional manipulation. Let's go. Okay, so picture this. You are scrolling through your feed. Could be Instagram, could be Facebook, could be Threads, doesn't matter. And you see a post from someone you know. It says something like, wow. Just wow. That's it. That's the whole post. And now you're sitting there like, what happened? Are you okay? What's going on? And you know, if you ask, there's a strong chance they're going to say, I don't want to talk about it. Or, never mind. Or, the truly infuriating, it's fine. Then why did you post about it? And I want to be clear. I'm not asking that rhetorically. I'm asking it genuinely. Because I think if we actually understand why people do this, we can stop judging so fast and maybe have a little more empathy. Even while we're also acknowledging that it's annoying as hell. Because here's the thing. Vague, sad posts are not random. There's a reason they keep happening. There's a reason people choose this over just saying what they mean. And that reason is complicated and human. And also sometimes kind of manipulative. And we're going to talk about all of it. First, I want to organize this because I have been studying this phenomenon extensively. Meaning, I've been scrolling social media and watching people, and I've identified several distinct categories of vague, sad posts. Stay with me. Category 1. The ellipsis post. This is just a feeling. No context, no details, just vibes and punctuation. Examples? I'm done. Just wow. I can't. And my personal favorite, the single period. Just a dot. Posted at 2 a.m. That dot is doing so much work. Category 2, the accusation without a name. Some people need to check themselves. You know who you are. Fake people everywhere. Can't trust anyone anymore. This one is particularly effective as a social media weapon because now everyone who sees it is doing a paranoid self-assessment. Did they mean me? What did I do? Should I reach out? Are we okay? The original poster has successfully launched a grenade of anxiety into their entire friend group with 12 words. Category 3, the wellness check bait. This is the one that really gets me. I hope I'm still here tomorrow. Sometimes I wonder if any of this is worth it. Feeling really low right now. Now look. And I want to be very careful here. Sometimes this is a genuine cry for help. And I'll address that. But sometimes this is specifically engineered to get people to flood the comments with, "Please don't do anything. I love you and you matter so much. And I'm here for you." It's emotional leverage. And it's not okay. Category 4, the vague gratitude that's actually a vague complaint. Thankful for the people who actually show up. Real ones know. Grateful for those who stayed. This one is sneaky because it sounds positive on the surface, but what it's actually doing is throwing shade at the people who didn't show up, didn't stay, aren't real, while simultaneously collecting admiration from the people who think the post is about them. Category 5, the serial vague poster. This is someone who does this multiple times a week. Every few days, there's a new cryptic post about going through something. People not being who they thought, struggling to keep going. And look, if someone is genuinely in crisis, that consistently, they need actual support, not social media validation. But if it's a pattern and they're always fine when you check in and never want to talk about it, that's a different situation. Okay, so now I want to talk about the actual psychology behind this, because I think if we understand it, we can stop just being annoyed and actually have a real conversation about what's happening. The number one reason people post vague, sad things is that they want connection without vulnerability. Think about that. Vulnerability is terrifying. Saying, "I'm struggling with this specific thing and I need help," means you have to name the thing. You have to admit you can't handle it alone. You have to open yourself up to the possibility that people will judge you, or minimize it, or tell you you are overreacting. But a vague post? A vague post lets you test the waters. It lets you see who cares enough to reach out. It lets you gauge whether your support system is actually there before you commit to being vulnerable. And if people do reach out, you can decide in that moment whether you actually want to talk. Is that a healthy communication strategy? No. But is it human? Absolutely. The second reason is control. When you're going through something hard, you often feel completely out of control. Your life is falling apart, or your relationship is ending, or someone betrayed you, and there's nothing you can do about it. But what can you control? What you share, how much you reveal, who knows what. The vague post is a way of maintaining power in a situation where you feel powerless. Third reason, some people genuinely don't know how to ask for help directly. They were raised in households where asking for support was seen as weakness, or they've been burned before. They opened up, they were vulnerable, and it went badly. So now they've developed this indirect method of reaching out that gives them plausible deniability. If people don't respond, they can pretend the post wasn't about anything serious. If people do respond, they got what they needed. And the fourth reason, this is the one where the empathy runs out a little, is attention. Pure and simple. Not the desperate, scared, I need someone to care about me kind of attention. The I want to feel important and watched and talked about kind. The I want people wondering about me kind. And look, the desire to feel seen and important is also human. I'm not going to shame that. But there's a difference between acknowledging that desire and acting on it in ways that manipulate the people around you. Because here's something we don't talk about enough. What vague, sad posts do to the people who see them. First, anxiety. Especially if you actually care about the person. You see that post and now you don't know if they're okay. You're worried. You feel obligated to reach out, even if you were in the middle of something. You spend mental energy on a situation that gave you literally zero information to work with. Second, the guilt spiral. If you see the post and you don't reach out, you spend the rest of the day hoping nothing bad happened. You check their profile to see if they posted anything else. You think about it when you're trying to go to sleep. You're basically being assigned emotional homework for something you had nothing to do with. Third, and this is the one nobody talks about, compassion fatigue. If someone is a chronic vague poster, the people who care about them will eventually stop responding as urgently. Not because they stopped caring, but because they've been trained by a pattern that says, this post will look scary, I'll reach out, they'll say they're fine, nothing will be resolved. So the next time there's a real crisis, those same people might hesitate, might think it's another false alarm. That's dangerous. That's a real consequence of crying wolf. And then there's the paranoia effect I mentioned earlier. The "you know who you are" posts that make an entire network of people do a guilt audit on themselves. Someone out there posted that about one person, and now 15 people who had nothing to do with anything are texting their mutual friends asking, "Did I do something?" You have caused unnecessary anxiety in 15 innocent people. Was that worth it? Alright, let me be fair, because there are situations where a vague, sad post is not the worst thing. If you're going through something that you're not ready to talk about publicly, a health diagnosis, a family crisis, a situation involving other people who haven't consented to being mentioned, a vague, going through a hard time, appreciate your support post is actually reasonable. You're acknowledging what's happening without oversharing. That's not manipulation. That's discretion. If you just need to put something into words to make it feel real, and social media is where you process, I get that. Not everyone has a journal. Not everyone has a therapist. Sometimes you just need to say, "Today was hard," and have someone say, "I hear you." That's not fishing. That's community. And if you're genuinely in crisis and don't have the words or the energy to explain, please post the vague, sad thing. Post it. Let people come to you, because getting help any way you can is more important than communicating perfectly. The issue is not the occasional vague post from someone who is genuinely struggling and doesn't know how else to reach out. The issue is the pattern, the manipulation, the chronic use of social media anxiety as a tool to make people feel responsible for your emotional state. So, here's where I land. If you post vague, sad things, think about what you actually need. If you need support, ask for it directly. I know that's scary. I know vulnerability is hard. But the people who love you would rather you say, "I'm having a really hard time and I need someone to talk to," than decode a cryptic post and wonder for 3 days if you are okay. If you just need to vent into the void, write it in your notes app. Text it to one person you trust. You don't have to perform your pain for an audience to make it valid. And if you're dealing with a chronic vague poster in your life, you are allowed to decide how much of your energy to give that. You can reach out if you want. You don't have to. Someone else's emotional state is not yours to decode on a daily basis, especially if they consistently say they're fine when you ask. Be direct. Be clear. And if you can't be clear yet, be honest about that too. I'm going through something and I'm not ready to talk about it. But I wanted people to know I'm struggling is a complete sentence. It's honest. It asks for patience without demanding attention. That's all I'm asking. Just a little more honesty about what you need. This has been Raggedy Ass Bitch TV. Unfiltered, unpaid, unbought. Next episode, we're talking about people who screenshot private conversations and share them. So buckle up for that mess. Until then, stay raggedy, stay clear. Peace.